Lewis Hamilton, the 7-time world champion, has completed his crucial Pirelli tire test at the Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya. Hamilton, Ferrari's new signing, shared driving duties with his new teammate Charles Leclerc in a modified version of Scuderia's most recent car, the SF24. This car, which secured 5 wins last year, was adapted specifically for the test to simulate the expected lower 2026 downforce levels. The test was part of Pirelli's extensive program to develop tires for the 2026 season, where F1 cars will be smaller, lighter, and equipped with narrower tires. Over the course of 2 days, Hamilton completed a total of 161 laps, equivalent to more than 2 Spanish Grand Prix race distances. This extensive running provided valuable data for both Ferrari and Pirelli. The test conditions were particularly challenging. The SF24 was stripped of a large portion of its aerodynamic support, creating a low downforce setup that made the car incredibly unstable at high speeds. This setup is notoriously difficult to manage, even for the most experienced drivers. However, Hamilton's performance under these extreme conditions was remarkable. On the first day of testing, Hamilton clocked a best time of 1 minute 15.930 seconds over 87 laps. While this was slightly slower than McLaren's Lando Norris, who set a time of 1 minute 15.215 seconds over 159 laps, it's important to note that the teams were running different programs as dictated by Pirelli. The second day saw Hamilton complete 74 laps with a fastest time of 1 minute 16.759 seconds. Engineers and observers at the circuit were impressed by Hamilton's calm and measured approach. Rather than pushing the car to its limits immediately, Hamilton focused on gradually increasing his pace, learning the car's new behavior under braking, corner exit, and mid-turn balance. Hamilton's feedback to the engineers was detailed. He reported that the rear of the car was particularly tricky to control, especially when accelerating out of slower corners like turn 10. Despite this, he praised the car's balance under braking, noting that the adjustments Ferrari had made to manage tire degradation were working as intended. The engineers were particularly impressed with Hamilton's sensitivity to tire performance. He provided precise observations on how the tires responded to both short and long runs, information that is crucial for Pirelli's development of the 2026 tires. This level of detailed feedback could give Ferrari a significant advantage in understanding how to optimize their car for the new regulations. Hamilton's performance in this test was even more impressive when compared to his previous outing in Ferrari's SF23. During that test, Hamilton had crashed on his second day, cutting short a crucial part of Ferrari's data collection plan. This time, however, Hamilton showed that he had learned from the experience, making subtle adjustments to his driving style to better suit the low downforce setup. The SF24 itself has been a major step forward for Ferrari. While it couldn't clinch the Constructors' Championship last season, it was a formidable challenger, with Leclerc and Carlos Sainz combining to secure 5 wins. The car showed significant improvements in cornering speed and tire degradation compared to its predecessor. For the Pirelli test, the SF24 had to be drastically altered. By stripping away downforce, Ferrari aimed to simulate what cars might feel like under the 2026 rules. This isn't just about making the car slower, it's about radically changing how it handles. Reduced downforce shifts more of the performance burden onto the tires, which become harder to maintain over long runs. Hamilton's strong performance under these conditions is a positive sign for Ferrari's future. If Scuderia can develop a car that performs well even with reduced aerodynamic grip, they could have a serious advantage once the new regulations come into effect, and having a driver of Hamilton's experience providing feedback only accelerates their progress. While the test was focused on 2026 tires, the data collected could also play a crucial role in shaping Ferrari's 2025 development strategy. Tire degradation and handling stability are issues that all teams will need to master to stay competitive. With Pirelli now armed with detailed insights from both Hamilton and Leclerc, the tire supplier can fine-tune its designs to better match the evolving needs of F1 teams. It's worth noting that Ferrari wasn't the only team present at the test. McLaren also participated, with Lando Norris driving on the first day and Oscar Piastri taking over on the second. Alpine was also present, conducting parallel tests with their own car. This highlights that the battle for supremacy under the 2026 regulations has already begun, with teams pushing to understand how to extract maximum performance from a new generation of machines. Pirelli's motorsport director, Mario Isola, provided valuable insights into the test. He stated, "It was a very useful session, particularly when it came to providing a comparison between the various different constructions for next season, as well as experimenting with some compounds from the harder end of the range." So, Isola continued, "The Barcelona circuit is known as one of the most demanding for the tires in terms of the energy exerted and degradation. Therefore, the information we have gathered over these 2 busy days will be very important for the future development of this generation of tires." The test program centered around the development of slick tires with various combinations of construction and compound being tested. Specifically, Pirelli focused on the C1 to C3 compounds, which are well suited to the demands of the Barcelona circuit. The exact nature of the driver's runs and tire compounds used are not revealed for such Pirelli tests. On the second day of testing, Charles Leclerc set the fastest overall time of 1 minute 14.971 seconds over 74 laps. This creates an intriguing dynamic within the Ferrari camp, with both Hamilton and Leclerc showing exceptional pace and providing valuable feedback. The Barcelona test may be over, but the work is far from done. Pirelli has announced further tests at Jerez on February 13th to 14th, with Alpine set to participate on both days, while McLaren and Mercedes will each have 1 day of running. Following the official preseason testing in Bahrain, there will be another Pirelli tire test on March 2nd to 3rd, featuring Alpine and Williams. These additional tests will provide even more data for teams and Pirelli to analyze as they prepare for the dramatic changes coming in 2026. The new technical regulations for that year will make F1 cars smaller and lighter, with tires that are narrower by 25 millimeters at the front and 30 millimeters at the rear. The overall diameter of the tires will also shrink from the current 720 millimeters to a range between 705 and 710 millimeters while maintaining the 18-inch rims. The implications of these tests for the upcoming 2025 season cannot be overstated. Hamilton's impressive performance in the SF24, even with its modified aerodynamics, suggests that Ferrari may have a potent package for the coming year. Moreover, the insights gained from these tests could give Ferrari a head start in understanding how to optimize their car for the changing tire characteristics. The data from this test suggests that the potential is certainly there. Hamilton's ability to quickly adapt to the SF24 and provide detailed, insightful feedback could be the missing piece Ferrari has been looking for in their quest to return to the top of Formula One.
Alongside Max Verstappen for 2025. So it was a tough decision in the end. I mean, Yuki as well, a very talented driver who's done a good job testing for us only recently. But in the end, when we looked at all the factors involved, we felt that Liam was the preferable candidate to put alongside Max in the 2025 season.
Red Bull Racing's team principal Christian Horner has made an unexpected reversal regarding the team's driver lineup for the 2025 Formula One season. To understand the gravity of Horner's recent statements, it is essential to review the events leading up to this point. Red Bull Racing recently parted ways with Sergio Perez following a challenging 2024 season. Despite a strong start, Perez's performance declined significantly after the Miami Grand Prix, resulting in Red Bull finishing third in the Constructors' Championship. Christian Horner provided insight into Perez's performance, stating, "Sergio started the season so well, second in Bahrain, second in Jeddah, and tremendously fast in Japan, which is an ultimate driver's circuit."
Well, basically, it's been a culmination of things. I mean, Checo started the season so strongly, 4 podiums out of 5 races. It felt like he'd taken off where he left off last year. But then really from Monte Carlo, that race onwards, it's been a very tough year for him. And we've tried everything with him and supporting him. And basically, he's come to his own conclusion that I think that now is the right time to.
From Monte Carlo on, the wheels came off his campaign, and from that point onwards, we just hemorrhaged too many points. The The statistics paint a clear picture of Perez's decline. He scored 103 points over the first 6 race weekends, but added just 49 points to this tally over the remaining 18 weekends. His best result after Miami was a mere 6th place finish. In response to Perez's departure, Red Bull promoted Liam Lawson to partner with Max Verstappen for the 2025 season. This decision came as a disappointment to Yuki Tsunoda, who had been with Red Bull's junior team since 2021 and had hoped for a promotion to the senior team. During a recent interview at the Autosport Awards, Christian Horner was asked about potential backup drivers for the 2025 season. Horner stated, "Yuki is in the pool, but our priority is on our race drivers. Yuki is a very talented driver, and we'll be keeping a close eye on him, and Isaac Hadjar as well." This statement marks a significant shift from Red Bull's previous stance, which seemed to indicate that Tsunoda's chances of securing a seat with the senior team were diminishing. It's worth noting that this comes after Red Bull's decision to promote Lawson over Tsunoda, despite the latter's more extensive experience in Formula One. While Horner's comments have reignited speculation about Tsunoda's future with Red Bull, it is important to note that the team's primary focus remains on their current race drivers, Max Verstappen and Liam Lawson. However, Horner's acknowledgement of Tsunoda's talent and the mention of Isaac Hadjar suggests that Red Bull is maintaining a diverse pool of potential drivers. Isaac Hadjar, who finished as the runner-up in the 2024 Formula 2 Championship, has been part of Red Bull's development program since 2021. His strong performance in the junior categories has put him in contention for potential future opportunities with the team. This approach aligns with Red Bull's historical strategy of nurturing young talent through their junior program and promoting drivers to the senior team when opportunities arise. Horner's recent statements can be interpreted in several ways. On one hand, they could be seen as a genuine reconsideration of Tsunoda's potential within the Red Bull organization. On the other hand, they may be a strategic move to keep multiple options open in case unforeseen circumstances arise during the 2025 season. It is worth noting that Red Bull has a history of making quick driver changes when performance does not meet expectations. The team has demonstrated its willingness to promote or demote drivers mid-season if they believe it will benefit their overall performance. Horner himself alluded to this volatility in the sport, saying, "Who would have thought 9 months ago we'd be sitting here talking about Liam Lawson being our driver for 2025? Things change quickly in this industry, and he's aware of that and knows that he needs to be the one demonstrating that he's the one knocking on the door." Yuki Tsunoda is entering his 5th season with Red Bull's junior team, now known as Racing Bulls. Despite being overlooked for promotion to the senior team, Tsunoda remains determined to prove his worth. In a recent interview with Autosport, Tsunoda said, "I just have to give them fewer excuses or reasons why they didn't put me in that seat. I will focus on what I can control and accept everything else. I'm sure I can do a better job than they think I can do." Tsunoda's performance in the upcoming season will be crucial in determining his future within the Red Bull organization and potentially in Formula One as a whole. His 2024 season saw him score a career-best 48 points, with his best finish being 4th at the Imola Grand Prix. He also outperformed his teammate Daniel Ricciardo in qualifying and matched him in race results. Red Bull's approach to driver management has been a subject of discussion within the Formula One community. The team has a reputation for being ruthless in its decisions, often promoting young drivers rapidly, but also demoting them quickly if they fail to meet expectations. This strategy has led to mixed results. While it has produced champions like Sebastian Vettel and Max Verstappen, it has also been criticized for potentially stunting the development of promising drivers who may need more time to adapt to the pressures of top-tier Formula One racing. Former Haas team principal Günther Steiner recently commented on Red Bull's decision to promote Lawson over Tsunoda, stating, "I don't think that was the perfect choice. Everything was a compromise. It's one of those choices. I'm of the opinion that Tsunoda should have been given the chance." Steiner further elaborated, "Would have been a better bet. Say we put him in the car 1 year and see how he's doing. If he's not good, let him go. Now he's sitting another year in the Racing Bull, and it's not motivational for the guy as well." As the 2025 Formula One season approaches, several scenarios could unfold regarding Red Bull's driver lineup. Lawson performs well, securing his position alongside Verstappen. Lawson struggles, potentially leading to a mid-season driver change. Tsunoda excels at Racing Bulls, putting pressure on Red Bull to reconsider his position. Each of these scenarios could have significant implications for the drivers involved and for Red Bull's performance in both the Drivers' and Constructors' Championships. The importance of having two strong performers in the team was highlighted by Red Bull's third-place finish in the 2024 Constructors' Championship. Despite Max Verstappen's individual success, scoring a total of 437 points, the team's overall performance suffered due to Perez's struggles in the latter part of the season. The 2025 season could be pivotal for Yuki Tsunoda's career in Formula One. If he is unable to secure a promotion to Red Bull's senior team, he may need to consider other options to remain in the sport. Christian Horner has previously acknowledged the challenges of keeping a driver in the support team for an extended period. Horner stated, "We're acutely aware that if we're not able to provide an opportunity for Yuki, being in all honesty this year, does it make sense to keep him? You can't have a driver in the support team for 5 years. You can't always be the bridesmaid. You've either got to let them go at that point or look at something different." These comments suggest that 2025 could be a make-or-break year for Tsunoda within the Red Bull organization. Tsunoda himself seems aware of this as he stated, "To be honest, it's not really clear. I could be in 2026 in VCARB as well, to be honest. I didn't get told anything that it would be the last race next year. I think they changed their approach a little bit with drivers. To be honest, I'm not really clear what they want."
So we can see what happened as he was making his mark. No, indeed, he just lost it under braking. Wow.
Just locked the rears. Completely locked up the rears. That is, car's been fully rebuilt. New gearbox.
After a disastrous season filled with crashes and underwhelming performances, pressure is mounting on Lance Stroll like never before. His struggles, especially in Brazil, where he bleached his car before the race even started, have drawn criticism from F1 insiders, and now even incoming Aston Martin guru Adrian Newey is reportedly not impressed. With Aston Martin's billion-dollar ambitions, a Honda partnership, and even Max Verstappen rumored for 2026, could Stroll be on the verge of losing his seat? Stroll's struggles came to a head at the Brazilian Grand Prix, where a series of incidents highlighted his difficulties. During the second quarter, Stroll crashed his car, causing significant damage and hampering the team's preparations for the race. However, it was his actions on the formation lap that drew the most attention. Stroll spun his car and, in an attempt to rejoin the track, drove through a wet gravel trap instead of using the available asphalt access road. This decision resulted in his car becoming beached, effectively ending his race before it had even begun. These incidents stand in stark contrast to the performance of his teammate Fernando Alonso. Despite both drivers facing challenges with the car's competitiveness, Alonso has consistently outperformed Stroll through throttle-wise. The US Akundra, the disparity in their results has become increasingly apparent, with Stroll currently languishing in 13th place in the Drivers' Championship and failing to secure any podium finishes. The situation has not gone unnoticed by key figures within the Formula One community. Reports suggest that Adrian Newey, the renowned aerodynamicist who is set to join Aston Martin, has expressed dissatisfaction with Stroll's performance. Newey's concerns center on Stroll's ability to lead the team forward and extract the maximum potential from the car. Given Newey's importance to Aston Martin's future plans, his opinion carries significant weight. Former karting rival Jarno Opmeer has also weighed in on Stroll's situation. Opmeer, who competed against Stroll in the CIKFIA European Championship in 2013, described the Canadian driver as not a bad driver, but not a superstar. He went on to say that Stroll wasn't someone you'd expect to see in Formula One, noting that while Stroll can be incredibly good for 2 or 3 races a year, he often underperforms in the rest. Ex-Formula One driver Timo Glock has been particularly critical of Stroll's attitude, especially in his interactions with the media. Glock pointed out Stroll's apparent apathy during interviews and press conferences, suggesting that there are many talented drivers who would be more deserving of his seat. These criticisms come at a crucial time for Aston Martin, as the team is in the midst of implementing ambitious plans for the future. The team has invested heavily in a new state-of-the-art factory and facilities, aiming to create an environment conducive to championship success. The Aston Martin F1 Team Technology Campus, covering 400,000 square feet, represents a significant step forward in the team's infrastructure. Furthermore, Aston Martin has secured a partnership with Honda for engine supply starting in 2026. This collaboration, coupled with Adrian Newey's impending arrival, has raised expectations for the team's future performance. There are even rumors circulating about Aston Martin potentially pursuing Max Verstappen for the 2026 season, highlighting the team's ambitious targets. These developments place Lawrence Stroll, Lance's father and the team owner, in a difficult position. As a businessman, Lawrence Stroll has invested heavily in the team with the goal of competing for championships. However, as a father, he faces the challenge of balancing family loyalty with the team's need for success. This dilemma is further complicated by pressure from sponsors and stakeholders who expect results commensurate with the team's investments. The situation has led to speculation about potential replacements for Lance Stroll. One name that has been frequently mentioned is Yuki Tsunoda. The Japanese driver has shown improved performances in recent races and has a strong connection with Honda, Aston Martin's future engine partner. Tsunoda's potential move to Aston Martin could align with the team's technical partnerships and future goals. Another driver in the mix is Felipe Drugovich, Aston Martin's reserve driver. Drugovich replaced Stroll during FP1 at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix and participated in the end-of-season test. This decision provided Drugovich with valuable seat time and allowed the team to evaluate his performance in a race weekend context. The most intriguing possibility, however, remains Max Verstappen. While currently dominating the sport with Red Bull, there have been hints that Verstappen might consider other options beyond 2026. The combination of Newey's design expertise, Honda's engines, and Aston Martin's new facilities could potentially create an environment attractive to the three-time world champion. Amidst these speculations, the role of Fernando Alonso cannot be overlooked. The Spanish driver recently signed a contract extension with Aston Martin, demonstrating his faith in the team's project. Alonso's experience and ability to extract performance from the car have been crucial for the team's development. His presence also serves as a benchmark against which Stroll's performances are measured. Looking ahead to 2025 and beyond, the importance of the 2026 regulation changes looms large. These new rules present an opportunity for teams to reset the competitive order, and Aston Martin is positioning itself to take full advantage. The team's stated goal is to contend for championships, a target that requires two strong drivers capable of consistently scoring points and challenging for podiums. The challenges facing Lance Stroll are numerous and significant. His recent performances have fallen short of expectations, and the criticism from respected figures in the sport has intensified the scrutiny on his position. The pressure on Lance Stroll extends beyond just his on-track performance. His attitude and approach to media engagements have drawn criticism, with some observers questioning his commitment and passion for the sport. Addressing these concerns through more engaged and enthusiastic interactions could help improve perceptions of his dedication to Formula One and Aston Martin. For Aston Martin, the decision regarding Lance Stroll's future is intertwined with broader strategic considerations. The team's investments in infrastructure, personnel, and partnerships are aimed at establishing themselves as a top-tier Formula One outfit. Achieving this goal requires not only a competitive car, but also a driver lineup capable of maximizing its potential. The outcome of this situation will have far-reaching implications for Aston Martin's future. If Lance Stroll remains with the team, he will need to demonstrate a significant improvement in performance to justify his seat. If the team decides to replace him, it would signal a prioritization of on-track results over family ties, potentially opening the door for a more competitive driver lineup. The decision facing Aston Martin extends beyond just driver selection. It encompasses the team's overall strategy for achieving its ambitious goals. With significant investments in facilities, personnel, and partnerships, the pressure to deliver results is mounting. The choice between maintaining the status quo with Lance Stroll or pursuing a potentially more competitive alternative could shape the team's future trajectory. The arrival of Adrian Newey in 2025 adds another layer of complexity to the situation. Newey's track record of success with multiple teams makes his input on driver selection highly valuable. The Honda partnership, set to begin in 2026, also factors into the equation. The Japanese manufacturer's return to Formula One as a works team partner comes with high expectations. Honda's experience with Red Bull, which has resulted in multiple championships, sets a precedent for success. Aston Martin will be keen to replicate this achievement, potentially influencing their driver lineup decisions. The role of Fernando Alonso in this scenario cannot be understated. As a two-time world champion with extensive experience in developing cars, Alonso's feedback and performance serve as a benchmark for the team. His ability to extract performance from the car highlights areas where improvements can be made, both in terms of vehicle development and driver performance.